We just wanna party, just feel. We just wanna party, just feel. I don't wanna die, just feel. We gotta dance, dance and shake the brain. We just wanna party, just feel. We just wanna party, just feel. I don't wanna die, just feel.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Look how I'm living now.
What up, Justice?
Police be tripping now. Yeah, this is America. Guns in my area. I got the strap. I gotta carry him. Yeah, I'ma go into this. Yeah, this is gorilla. Yeah, I'ma go get the bag. Yeah, or I'ma get the pad. Yeah, I'm so cold like yeah. I'm so dull like yeah. We gon' blow like yeah. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. Look how I'm kicking now. I'm so pretty. I'm on Gucci. I'm so pretty. Yeah. I'm gonna get it. Watch me move. This is Sally. That's a tool. Yeah. On my Kodak. Black. Ooh, know that. Yeah. Ooh, get it. Yeah. Ooh, work it. 100 bands. Contraband. I got the plug on who a hawker. Whoa. They gonna find you like Baka. Blow.
America. I just checked my follow and listen. You motherfuckers owe me.
Get your money, black man. Get your money, black man. Get your money, black man. Get your money, black man.
Get down.
Just a black man in this world, you just a buck call, hey. Just a black man in this world, living expensive foreign, hey. Just a big dog, yeah. My Kindle came in a backyard. My barbarian life to a dog.
Have you forgotten that once we were brought here, we were robbed of our names, robbed of our language. We lost our religion, our culture, our God. And many of us, by the way we act, we even lost our mind.
Here it is, bam! And you say, God damn, this is a dope jam. But let's define
I love this song, man.
Dope and you're thinking me funky now. No, here is a true tale. Why the ones that deal, all the ones that fail, yeah. You can move if you want to move. What it groove? It's here like the groove. The problem is this. We gotta fix it. Check out the justice and how they run it. Selling, smelling, sniffing, ripping. And brothers trying to get swift in. Selling their own, rob a home, while some shrivel a bone like comatose walking around. Please don't confuse this with the sound. I'm talking about bass, 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 bass. Come on, what's the night? Bass, bass, bass. What's the night? Bass, bass, what's the night? Yeah, bass, bass, what's the night? Bass, bass, what's the night? All right. I put this together too. The bells of those that boost the dose of lack-a-lack. It's those that sound like shame on the brother when he dealing. The same block where my 98 be wheeling. And everybody know another kilo. From a corner from a brother, keep another below. And stop illing and killing, stop grilling. Yo, black, yo. 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Wait a minute, y'all. The feeds are feeding day to day to day. They say no other way. The stuff is really bad. I'm talking about.
We're gonna get on down now.
Yo, listen! I see it on their faces.
First come, first serve basis.
Standing on line, checking the time. Homeboys playing the curve, the same ones they used to do earlier. Now they're gone, passing it on, poison attack the black word on. My man Daddy-O once said to me, you know a brother that stayed all day in his Jeep, and at night he went to sleep, and in the morning all he had was sneakers on his feet. The culprit used to jam and rock the mic. Yo, he stripped the Jeep to fill his pipe, and wander around to find a place where they rock to a different kind of, come on y'all.
Hold it now, wait. Yo, run it back. Suck the tax is a meal for kids that make cash. Selling drugs to the brother man instead of the other man.
Brother than sister.
I'm talking about
Twice the night. 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 Twice the night.
This is a journey.
I'm all up in my Generation X right now, y'all. So you gotta let me just rock with it, man.
Would you join me, please, and welcome me?
Redeemer full of culture.
I got so much trouble on my mind. Refuse to lose. Here's your ticket. Hear the drummer get wicked. The crew to you to push the back the black attack. So I sack and jab and slap the Mac. Now I'm ready to mic it. Hear my favoritism, Rolo. Never be a brother like me, go solo. Laser Anastasia Major. Ways to blaze your brain and train you. The way I'm living, forgiving what I'm giving up. X on the flex, living now. I don't know about later. As for now, I know how to avoid the paranoid. Man, I've had it up to here. Yeah, I wear, got them going in fear. The rhetoric said and red just a bit ago. And not quick to go sign the hard rammer. What's the key from getting jerked? Changing some ways. The way back in the better days. Raw, metaphysically bold. Never follow the code. Still drop the load. Never question what I am. God knows. Cause it's coming from the heart. What I got, better get some get on up. Hustler of culture. Snake bitten, been spit in the face. But the rhymes keep fitting. Respect's been given. How's you living? Now I can't protect a paid off defect. Check the record and record. Intentional wreck. Played off as some intellect. Made the call, took the fall, broke the laws. Not my fault that they're falling off. Known as fair and square throughout my years. So I growl at the living vow. Black to the bone, my home is your home. Well, welcome to the Terror Dome. Come on,
Would you join me, please, and welcome me?
So long now. Have a good trip. Yo, who put this thing together, huh? Me. That's who. Who I trust. Me.
Would you join me, please, and welcome me?
Subordinate terror kicking off an era. For delivering pain, my 98 was 87 on a record, yo. So now go Bronco.
Oh, just be able to get us, man. Oh, just be able to get us, man. Yo, we gotta go keep going on.
Crucifixion ain't no fiction. So-called chosen, frozen, apology made to whoever pleases. Still they got me like Jesus. I'd rather sing, bring, think, reminisce about a brother while I'm in sync. Every brother ain't a brother, cause a color just as well to be undercover. Backstab, grab the flag from the back of the lab, told the rap, get off the rag. Sad to say I got sold down the river, still some quiver when I deliver. Never to say I never knew I had a clue. Word was heard plus hard on the boulevard. Lies, scandalizing, facing streets of hate who celebrate with Satan. I wrote for dope the evil with righteous bobbing and weaving, and let the good get even. Come on down. Well, welcome to the Terror Dome.
Come on down. Come on down. Yo, BE, 1990, and all that.
Holding the race against time, the pit and the pendulum. Check the rhythm and rhymes while I'm bending them. Snakes blowing up the lines of design. Run upon the science of fitting them. How to fight the power, cannot run and hide. Well, it shouldn't be suicide. In the game, a fool without the rules. Got a hell of a nerve to just criticize. Every brother ain't a brother, cause a black hand squeezed a Malcolm X the man. The shooting of Huey Newton from the hand of a nigga pulled the trigger.
Come on down. Come on down.
Would you join me, please, and welcome me in? This week to speak and blame somebody else. Will you destroy yourself?
What's up, y'all? How you doing? Appreciate y'all stopping in the building today. I'm all up in my Generation X right now, man, so you got to bear with me as I play one last thing, man. My dude.
And the law written
Then we'll get started, man.
We call an individual into existence, and when that individual comes, I make no apologies for what I'm about to say.
Rough, rugged, and real, you're on standstill to obey your case, so let the man build. Words of rapture that you have to capture, and I just slapped ya with a handful of literature. This dope, deaf, fresh, hype, choice, smooth, and raw. Rappers I replace, rub out, and erase. Competition, you must be on freebase, smoking or joking, bound to be broken. Now get your damn hands off the mic that I'm choking. Cause I got a stranglehold. You're still cold on parole for the role you stole. Rhymes that you yell out, but you did sell out. Crossed over, lost over here, now get the hell out. I'm not a pop star, rock and roller. I'm a rebel, blessed, able to hold a mic like a hammer and drop grammar, treat a rapper like a wrestler and body slam them. Those who dispute get treated just like a prostitute. They get the boot and played like a flute, so just play mute. Don't even whisper, open your mouth to speak and I'ma dish your ragtag and dog. Put you in the morgue because you're petty, confetti, and not ready to rock steady. In other words,
It's every day Kane, man. All right, man. We're going to stop, man.
My weapon is
People don't like listen to Big Daddy Kane like that, but I do like listening to Big Daddy Kane, man. That's my dude, man. You're gifted in black. Biggie said Big Daddy Kane was the dude to make dark skin brother get in style. All right, man. Hopefully y'all can hear me okay, man. So let's first thing we're gonna do is I don't know if you guys know about this, man. I used to work for Starbucks, and the whole purpose of me kind of bringing this up today or talking about this is Starbucks, man. As you can see down at the bottom, I have a enjoy extra wide high chocolate mocha with an extra Stretto shot of espresso and caramel and chocolate drizzle. Or pumpkin spice latte. That happens in the fall. It actually is the drink of most Karens. It's the pumpkin spice latte. They also get it skinny too. So, skinny's with non-fat. So you might get non-fat with whip, all that extra stuff. Man. I even had a lady used to come in and she would say, let me get my drink at 147 degrees. And I literally was like, I'm sorry, I can't do that for you. And everybody was like, what? Why can't you do that for the customer? I was like, because what if I get 148 degrees? I wouldn't want your poor little tongue to get burnt because I hit 148 degrees, not 147. Or I wouldn't want things to get too cold because I was at 145 and 147. So, but anyway, y'all worked at Starbucks for a minute. Actually, I used to manage a few Starbucks. Started off there as a barista, like everybody else. I was a partner. I had I had a green apron. Became a coffee master, and then I started roasting coffee, and kind of brought Darren's coffee about and all that other stuff, man. But one of the reasons that I had a problem with Starbucks is the way that Starbucks treated black people. And really, it's kind of funny, right? Because of Howard Schultz and where Howard Schultz is from. I don't know if you guys know who Howard Schultz is. If you do, please feel free to put that name, if you know who he is in the chat. Would love for you to do that. If you know who Howard Schultz is. So Howard Schultz is he is actually the founder of there you go, yeah. A half a splendid packet. Yeah, I remember that. A half a splendid packet. Oh, TX Marion one. TX Marion one's in the building. What's going on, Tiff? You know, yeah, actually Howard Schultz. Hey, well, you know what, Mo? There's a reason why. Exactly, Uppity. Howard Schultz grew up in the same projects as Jay-Z. He was one of the reasons why Starbucks um, has health care for all their part-time employees is that they have his experience. His father was a superintendent, and he remembered when his father broke his leg and he was out of work, and his family they all but went hungry during that time. Now after that, Howard went and got his he went to Central Michigan. I think it's either Eastern Michigan or Central Michigan. He played a quarterback in college, and he sold dishwashers and stuff like that, and ran into some guys out on the West Coast, and that's when they found, kind of put together a Starbucks drink. And I read that book. I read this story. It was in a book called Pour Your Heart Into It, and it was about how Howard Schultz, kind of how Starbucks built an empire. Now, it's a known name. I mean, everybody knows who it is. And Starbucks, they try to stay out of. I guess they try to stay out of news, but somehow they manage to stay in the news. But before we get to them staying in the news, let's talk about my experience at Starbucks. When I was there, uh, as you guys probably know, I'm 6'5", black man. Uh, so if I come in a room, you know that I'm there. There's no hiding. I can't hide in the corner. Say, hey, Darius over here in the corner hiding. Man. This ain't gonna happen. But when I got there, I worked around a bunch of, I'd say millennials, um, and that's fine. Me being a Generation X, I can deal with millennials. I worked with a lot of millennials. I worked with a lot of people who had alternative lifestyles. That's fine too. I don't care, what who you decide to sleep with. It has no bearing on how I do my job or how I make a cup of coffee or how I made a cup of coffee. But when I started to move up within the company and I wanted to start to bring in more blacks, I got a lot of pushback. Now, I don't know if it was Starbucks here or if it's Starbucks, if that's a general policy, how they roll across the country. But I know that in a place like Indianapolis, Indiana, that's where I live, and it's 27% black, and Starbucks is a company that claims to preach diversity, in everything they do. How I think it was 5% of the overall company was black. There may have been 3 managers in the state of Indiana that were black. I think there was one district manager, and he was like over a shady district, shady district, man, where they barely made numbers and all that other crap. But there's something I noticed, and where I really started to have difficulty at Starbucks when we were at a big managers meeting, and they had all these different groups that came up, and it was the LGBTQ FYZ group. There was women's groups, there were this group and that group. And I raised my hand and I said, well, I got a question, y'all. Where is the group for black people? The room got quiet. And that's when I knew that my time at Starbucks was limited. So fast forward a few years, um, you hear the story of two black men in Philadelphia. They go to and let me pull this story up so it's kind of still a refresher of the story of the black man in Starbucks, just in case if you were under a rock and didn't know what happened. Then I'm talking a little about an experience I had last night, man. It scared the shit out of me. But here, let's go ahead and share the screen, man. And for me to be scared, that says something, man, because I like to say I'm the thing that goes bump in the night. People scared of the black man. You know. All right, so here we go.
Protesters calling for justice today after the arrest of two black men at this Philadelphia Starbucks on Thursday. This video, captured by a witness's cell phone, shows police talking and later handcuffing the men while they were waiting for a friend. The men wanted to use the restroom, but the manager said that per store policy, they couldn't since they didn't buy anything. When they wouldn't leave, she called police.
A group of males refused to leave.
Some witnesses say the officers overreacted.
They're just sitting there quietly, sitting on their phones, like chatting, just like everyone else in Starbucks was.
Philadelphia's police commissioner says the officers didn't do anything wrong.
Wow.
They followed policy. They did what they were supposed to do.
The men, who don't want to be identified by name, were held in custody for 8 hours before they were released. Prosecutors didn't file charges, but their defense lawyer says this wasn't about the law. It was about bias.
A lot of people are saying this issue is about race. Do you think this would have happened if your clients were not Black?
I would love to hear the 911 call in this case, but what's the 911 call you're never going to hear? Hi, this is the Starbucks at 18th and Spruce. There are two white women sitting in here. One of them asked to use the bathroom and she didn't order a coffee. Come quick.
Starbucks tonight in damage control.
What we need to do as leaders, we own this situation. We are responsible for this situation, and we'll take accountability for making the necessary changes.
Meanwhile, video of the arrest has gone viral, many on social media calling it a clear-cut case of racism.
We should not be going through this.
One protester say went too far.
Still buffering?
Starbucks says the manager who called police
Let me know if I'm buffering still.
Store. Meanwhile, the criminal defense attorney for the men arrested wouldn't yet comment on whether or not they were considering.
Let me know if I'm buffering. Let me know. I'm assuming no. So, all right.
Filing criminal charges or any charges of their own.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by.
All right, let's check the story out, man.
We're back now with Starbucks under fire. Protests, as you know, breaking out after two black men were arrested. We're going to speak with Starbucks CEO in a moment, Kevin Johnson. But first, ABC's Lindsay Davis is in Philadelphia, where more protests are planned. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Robin. A few minutes ago, we had about a dozen protesters outside of the Starbucks here, but because of the driving rain, they're now inside, conducting essentially a stand-in. The video has now been viewed more than 9 million times. Two black men sitting at a table inside the Starbucks and arrested.
What did they do?
Outrage is brewing this morning over this viral video showing two black men escorted out of a Philadelphia Starbucks in handcuffs by police.
Well, what did they do? What did they do? Someone told me they did.
They didn't do anything. I saw the entire thing.
Police say the men were sitting at a table without making a purchase, and when asked to leave, they refused. That's when an employee called 911, reporting the incident as trespassing. Witnesses, including this businessman who the real estate brokers were about to meet with, say the men were discriminated against for being black.
Real estate brokers.
I sat in there the other day for an hour and no one asked me to order anything or leave. These guys were being totally calm. They never raised their voices. They never made any, physical motions or anything. They were just regular guys sitting there.
But Philadelphia's police commissioner says his officers did everything by the book.
These officers did absolutely nothing wrong. They followed policy. They did what they were supposed to do.
Anger is boiling over on social media with the hashtag boycott Starbucks. Comedian Kevin Hart is blaming the local branch, saying this is not a boycott Starbucks situation. This is horrible management. The manager on duty was wrong. It's that simple. Starbucks is now apologizing, saying the video is not representative of our Starbucks mission and values. The basis for the call to police was wrong. You can and should expect more from us.
No charges have been filed. Those two men have since been released, and they now have attorneys. Robin.
All right, Lindsay, thank you very much. And Starbucks CEO Kevin Johnson joins us now exclusively from Philadelphia. Mr. Johnson, first of all, thank you very much for wanting to come on and speak with us this morning about something that a lot of people saw and are scratching their heads. And I know that you have said that you want to have a more of an investigation. So is there anything more that you know this morning about how and why this happened?
Well, good morning, Robin. First of all, I'll say the circumstances surrounding the incident and the outcome in our store on Thursday were reprehensible. They were wrong. And for that, I personally apologize to the two gentlemen that visited our store. Now, certainly, it's my responsibility to understand what happened and what led to that and ensure that we fix it.
Has anybody asked the store manager, why did they do this? I mean, we were talking amongst ourselves. People, you see them in Starbucks all the time conducting business meetings. They're not buying any products. And even when we saw in the piece when the woman said that she had been there too, has anybody asked her why these particular men did she feel compelled to call the police?
Well, Robin, certainly with 28,000 stores around the world, different regions put in some slightly different guidelines in how they handle certain situations. In sort of reviewing this case, the guidelines that they had in place indicated a certain set of scenarios in which the police were to be called. Now, there are some scenarios where the police should be called. If there's threats or disturbance, those may be appropriate times. In this case, none of that occurred. It was completely inappropriate to engage the police. And so clearly there's an opportunity for us to provide clarity. And in addition to that, I'd say there's training, more training that we're going to do with our store managers, not only around the guidelines, but training around unconscious bias. What happened to those two gentlemen was wrong.
Because you said in your statement, and I quote here, that Starbucks stands firmly against racial profiling. So you believe that was the case here?
Hear that now.
Well, Robin,
what he just said.
Starbucks was built
Listen to this.
as a company that creates a warm, welcoming environment for all customers.
You hear that?
That didn't happen in this case. That I know. And so it's my responsibility to ensure that we review everything. We review the actions of the store manager, we review the guidelines that were provided, and we review and invest in the training necessary to ensure that doesn't happen again.
People are wondering.
That's what we will hold ourselves accountable to.
I'm sorry, sir. People are wondering, will any disciplinary action?
What's up, Miss Sunday? How you doing?
Employee?
Well, while I know it's easy for me to say and point blame to one person in this incident, my responsibility is to look not only to that individual, but look more broadly at the circumstances that set that up, just to ensure that this never happens again. So those reviews are conducting as we speak, and I've been very focused on understanding what guidelines and what training ever let this happen.
Hold on, man. Hold on. What did you say, Matt? Maybe Magic should have said something. All right, let's keep going, bro.
Magic owned some of the Starbucks in my city in Seattle.
Yeah.
About this,
Yep.
but you have made it clear that you really want to have a face-to-face with them to apologize. What exactly do you want to say?
He actually, Magic owned a few of them here in Indianapolis. What they did, what Starbucks did, they licensed a bunch of stores, just like they licensed the ones in Target. They licensed a bunch of stores to Magic in the hood, knowing that that these stores wouldn't be able to sustain themselves. That people wouldn't be able to come in and buy an $8 cup of coffee every day, knowing that. And when these stores failed, then they just blamed it on, hey, we tried, this just wasn't a good fit for us. And we'll explore kind of Starbucks' their whole policy there. So
Well, Robin, first of all, I reached out and we made contact with the representative of the two gentlemen. And I'm hopeful that while I'm here in Philadelphia, I'll have a chance to meet with them face to face. First, I'd like to apologize to them in person. And I'd like to have a dialogue with them so that I can ensure that that we have the opportunity.
That's kind of like the beer summit. Remember the beer summit?
No.
So when Henry Louis Gates got harassed by a policeman for not having ID in his front yard, President Obama and Joe Biden, Vice President Biden, said, "Let's get together and let's talk about over beer. Let's talk about race." That was how they addressed the police treating this professor, this Harvard professor, being
Wow.
racially profiled in his front yard by a campus
Wow.
cop. It was a beer. They called it the beer summit. So
Wow.
To really understand the situation and show some compassion and empathy for the experience they went through. And finally, as we're working to solve this, I'd like to invite them to join me in finding a constructive way to solve this issue.
Good to hear that. Make it a teachable moment. Kevin Johnson, thank you very much for your time this morning, for your remarks. We appreciate it very much, sir.
Oh, fuck off,
Take
Kevin
care.
Johnson.
Thank you.
That was. If you were expecting to hear about some massive settlement, think again. An attorney for Rashawn Nelson and Dante Robinson say they're walking away with a mere $2 and an important promise.
What did they get called for? Because there are two black guys sitting here meeting? Yes.
The viral video was seen by millions, setting off a
$2.
fiery debate over racial bias and sparking protest and sit-ins at Starbucks nationwide.
What do we want? Justice!
On Wednesday, the two men arrested and the city of Philadelphia struck an agreement. Dante Robinson and Rashawn Nelson will be paid $1 each by the city and have their arrest records expunged.
I'm thrilled that they just did it for a $1 with the city. It showed a lot of class on their part.
what about Starbucks?
The city also agreed to fund a
Right.
$200,000 grant program for aspiring
So
high school entrepreneurs.
hold on a second. Hold on. Let me stop this real quick. So they had the city actually. Starbucks was the one that actually they performed actually discrimination. They were the ones that said, "Hey, we have these two black men who aren't buying anything in our restaurant. Come get them." And they called in some people call them the race soldiers. I just call them the armed forces, the long arm of government. They came in. They called them in to actually do what the Starbucks manager couldn't do. And look who ultimately had to pay for it: the city.
Right. Not
They said-
Starbucks.
Right. They said the city has set up a fund for entrepreneurs, not Starbucks.
Why is that?
Well, let's take a look.
We'll work on the grant committee.
Hey, I am love.
For the youth especially.
Philadelphia's Mayor Jim Kenney released a statement that reads in part, "This was an incident that evoked a lot of pain in our city. Rashawn Nelson and Dante Robinson invited us to partner with them in an attempt to make something positive come of this." In April, the two young men were arrested in a neighborhood Starbucks for trespassing after the store manager phoned police when the men, waiting for a meeting, asked to use the bathroom and then declined to make a purchase.
Hi, I have two gentlemen at my cafe that are refusing to make a purchase or leave. I'm at the Starbucks at 18th and Spruce. All right, please help me out as soon as possible.
Days after the incident, the Starbucks CEO offered an apology.
What happened and the way that incident escalated and the outcome was nothing but reprehensible. And I'm sorry.
The manager who worked at that Starbucks is no longer there. A week later, the pair told their story.
He wasn't read any rights.
Of course not.
Just double lock, handcuffs behind our back, and escorted out and put into a squad car.
That stuff never happened to me. So you have to walk in somebody else's shoes.
Right, Mo. And I understand that.
Change your heart. Change
I understand that, Mo. My issue was with Starbucks. I mean, it's a matter of principle with the city. But where's the principle at with Starbucks?
It isn't there. It's a racist organization.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, where's Starbucks $1 settlement? Let's see if that even happened, if any kind of settlement happened. So
and move forward in a positive way.
The two men also reached a confidential financial settlement with Starbucks.
Confidential
the coffee
financial, there you
chain
go.
offering them the opportunity to complete their college degrees through the Starbucks College Achievement Plan.
and a promise to continue a
Bullshit.
dialogue with both of them.
Arizona State.
Yeah, and we're
You gotta
gonna
be shitting and pissing me right now.
the Starbucks College Achievement Program. I'm gonna type that in real quick, man.
You gotta be shitting and pissing me, man.
Yeah.
ASU shit. Hey, want to go to college online? Arizona State University?
Yep.
You might as well be a fucking Phoenix.
But damn, man.
Joke. It's a fucking joke.
All right, so let me go ahead and go back to play real quick. Almost done with this.
Starbucks also plans to close all 8,000 plus stores and its corporate offices for the afternoon on May 29th, so employees can take part in mandatory racial bias education training.
I got fired from Starbucks just before the racial bias training, and I was the only person who could speak to that properly.
What's up, Mo Justice?
Hey, I just wanted to explain settlement.
Thank you.
So when you see a dollar settlement like that, something else was at play, because normally you sue all the deep pockets, right? So in this case, you would sue the city and you would sue Starbucks. So in the clip you just played, it seems like Starbucks paid the monetary amount, and then the city expunged their record of arresting them. That was their settlement. And the dollar is it's like they have to pay something when they're settling. There has to be a dollar figure that goes with it, and the lowest one is $1. So let's suppose I sued the city on behalf of my child. So they would settle with my child for $8,000, but they would pay me, the parent, $1, because I'm a party to the action.
Okay.
So in this case, they took the part that they did something wrong. So it's either policy got changed, or they just gave them back their or cleared their record.
Right. Rightfully so, right? Because they never should have been taken to custody.
Yes, but you don't automatically get things expunged either.
Right. It's a process. Yeah, the criminal justice system is a process, and it's a grinding process that once we get put into it, it's a grinder. Right,
but civil suits are generally either a monetary value, or it's something that it's something you want. It's the action you want another party to take. So it doesn't always have to be money.
That's true. That's true.
But in this case, if you are in a restaurant, I mean, they did their PR stuff, but if you are in there and you're not patronizing, buying something at that time, they do have a right to ask you to leave. You are considered trespassing.
That's the thing is I know Starbucks actually had a policy. That wasn't the Starbucks policy. Starbucks policy is if someone were to come in and they didn't have money for a drink, they didn't have money for a cup of coffee, then the Starbucks policy is to go ahead and offer that person a cup of coffee. That literally is a written policy, or was at the time.
Yes, but trespassing on an establishment is not purchasing anything and being asked to leave and refusing to leave. I mean, all of the criteria for being a trespasser was there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But the bias part is that they don't, as policy, ask everyone that. So you have a clip where a woman said, I sat near the other day for 45 minutes. No one bothered me, asked me anything. That's where the bias comes in. It's generally hard to prove that. But if you're inside of an establishment and you refuse to purchase something from that establishment, the reason why you're in there is to buy, and then is to purchase, and then you sit and wait. You sit and eat your product or whatever you purchase from them. Mm-hmm. But it's otherwise considered trespassing.
Yeah. I guess my whole issue with this, with that situation, is just knowing the Starbucks policy, knowing the written policy about Starbucks being third place. knowing that that's
Right.
what Starbucks where they actually invited people to come in to meet. And now, yeah, of course, now the bias, of course, is something that we're definitely going to be talking about bias, because that's what's affecting a lot of what we're going through today is bias, and that's the conversation that people are starting to have. Now, I don't know how good the conversation is going to be with just us having it, but it's a conversation that I'm starting to see that's happening. So the real purpose for me, kind of doing this thing today, doing this live, is Starbucks recently they took a position on Black Lives Matter, and if you guys can see my screen.
Yes, Starbucks bans employees from wearing anything in support of Black Lives Matter.
So let's see if this
To
comes up.
Starbucks employees last week
Can you guys hear this?
specifically warned staffers against wearing accessories or clothes bearing messages in support of the Black Lives Matter movement. The memo, obtained by BuzzFeed News, reminds staffers that such messages are prohibited under the company's policy against accessories that, quote, advocated a political, religious, or personal issue. Numerous employees told the news outlet, however, that the company regularly allows or even encourages employees to wear pins in support of LGBTQ equality, especially during Pride Month every June.
Is that a political football?
No. What was that?
Let me rewind this again.
Feel like your timeshare isn't what they sold you?
You guys always trying to
You're
sell
not
this
alone.
timeshare to me, man.
Hi, my name is
Hold on.
Robin McVeigh, and I'm the
Boom. Let's get back to it.
The Republican-led Senate arms.
Guys always trying to sell me a timeshare, man, or get me out of a timeshare. All right. So the Starbucks had this policy where I know that if you go in there, you definitely will see employees who support the LGBTQ and frequently wear the rainbow.
Last week specifically warned staffers against wearing accessories or clothes bearing messages in support of the Black Lives Matter movement. The memo, obtained by BuzzFeed News, reminds staffers that such messages are prohibited under the company's policy against accessories that, quote, advocated a political, religious, or personal issue.
Okay, advocated political. Excuse me, I'm getting old. Turn old next week.
Advocated a political, religious, or personal issue. Numerous employees.
Okay, political,
religious, or personal issue.
Okay.
Like being gay. And they have all the LGBTQ paraphernalia, regalia, all over Starbucks in Seattle. All over the place. I mean, literally like invitations on the walls. Like, hey, do you want to come to an LGBTQ meeting? Are you feeling alone? Like, all over the place in Seattle. All over the place in Washington State.
Isn't that a protective class?
I thought the black folks were protected class as well. And isn't that a political issue?
Well, it's a personal issue. It's a political, personal, or religious.
Right?
What was
Am I
their
missing this?
policy? Well, I mean, it's a law now because you can't discriminate against them, so you can't say so what, they're not allowed to wear any.
They're not allowed to wear anything that says that's a political, personal, or religious issue. Now we know that we have a right the freedom to worship how we please. You have a freedom to be gay, bisexual, lesbian, whatever. Right? Those are free. Those are freedoms that we have. And the company can, I guess it's just the policy the policy is not being applied evenly. It's a bias in the policy. Would you agree? Or would you agree with that law, or am I tripping? No,
Are they a
Starbucks.
franchise or
Starbucks are not franchised at all. They're completely corporate owned.
Well, until people feel discriminated against by their policy, sue them, then there's nothing. Your power is in your dollar anyway. So the easiest thing is not to purchase anything from them if you become aware of this.
Yes.
Like if they don't want the Black Lives Matter movement in there right now, right? And there are people that have their in our own community have their own bias against the organization itself, not against what it stands for, but I guess its management.
Mhm.
And you don't like their policy, you don't like that policy at this point in time, you could speak up, make a big thing about it, and see where your dollar goes. Just don't spend your dollar there. Hit everybody in the economic. What the police right now are crying, don't defund me. Hit people in their economics. They have a different language.
Okay. This just in. I just got a copy of the memo from Starbucks. So I'm going to be actually playing the memo. I'm going to show that in just a second. Got a copy of the memo, man. Of the dress
I
code
guess
policy.
what Darren and I are saying is that as former employees of Starbucks, we've seen them give special treatment to the LGBTQ community, um, and then discriminate against other communities. So here is a community who says, oh, people discriminate against us, we don't have rights. And then this is a community who also almost completely runs Starbucks in my city, where Starbucks was originally founded and started. And they run that organization and they discriminate against everybody else. So you go in there and you're a Muslim, it's a problem. You go in there and you're a conservative Christian, it's a problem. You go in there and you're Black and proud, it's a problem. But then you're on the clock and you realize everybody you work with is, LGBTQ. That was my experience. And I was definitely pushed out of there. And I've definitely seen, fucking Valerie, my shift manager, calling the cops on a homeless guy who appeared to me to be Polynesian. And I'm listening to her phone call and she says, there's an African-American man here who refuses to leave. He's homeless, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, first of all, that's not a Negro. But I understood that she was trying to get the police there as soon as possible to escort this man out. And we were a Starbucks who we normally have a good 30 different homeless people a day in our Starbucks. And so when we're talking about these men in Philadelphia not ordering anything, our homeless population, of course, would get a water, right? It's free. And then they would sit down and stay in there trying to be warm and use the bathroom. So we see in the management the anti-Blackness. We see in having been employees. I've worked at 4 different Starbucks. I worked at a Starbucks in Bellevue, a Starbucks in Issaquah, Washington, Bellevue, Washington, and 2 in Seattle, Washington. And the 2 in Seattle, Washington were both managed by, one was a homosexual man and one was a lesbian woman.
And in all of these populations that you speak on, dominate with their dollar. So if the LGBT, all the other letters, feels discriminated against, they go and they organize, or they go to their organized, already in place functions, and they protest against it in the simplest format. Either they protest by not spending their money there, letter writing campaigns to say that they felt uncomfortable, will not spend their money there. They encourage others not to spend their money there, or the thought, just the thought that you have angered them brings on that threat. The company generally reacts. The problem here is that, again, Black issues, we are not organized. So when our threats are weightless on them, and they don't see any reason to give it the same weight as they would give the LG and all the other letters. So we have to make our demands as strong and as threatening as those of the other ones in terms of our economic ability to make a difference.
Right.
I agree.
You know what? And I agree totally. And you know what found? What I found is that the coffee industry, just in the U.S. as a whole, is a racist industry.
In general, no matter what. Not just Starbucks, but I mean Bigfoot Java, hell, like it doesn't matter. Java Jane, Seattle's Best, like it's all in general
Right.
racist.
Yeah. There's actually a I did. I just what I have on the screen right now is actually my coffee company. So that's the way you can vote with your dollars. Is support a black owned company.
Definitely. And it's really good coffee.
Right on. I did a video, and this was something in, and this kind of addresses what you were saying, Mo. Let me pull this up real quick. I kind of went off, man. I was upset with my people. I love black people, man, but I was upset. I was upset with my people around this time. I was highly upset with black people, man. So here we go. Hey, what's up, y'all? So, y'all know, actually, I'm gonna walk over here and get a cup of coffee. I just finished posting for the new event that we're going to have on Saturday. I'm going to be showing a movie called Hidden Colors. Hidden Colors is a fantastic movie. I think it's telling right now, and it's going to be very educational. So this is my shop. You see in the background, I got a lot of black stuff going on. Right now, I want to talk to a group of people that that's one of my shops. Probably be in Hidden Colors, or really black people. Yep, black people. You guys know that I am a very, very an Afrocentric, or I'm a black man, but easily you can tell that. Went to an HBCU. You've been in the shop? You've seen have a number of black folks on the wall. Actually, had a guy come in this Sunday and said, "Hey, somebody in here likes black people." I said, "Yeah, I do. I like white people too, but I think a lot of times the history of black people are not told. So we say, we're part of the African diaspora, or Pan Africans, as they like, not really African American. That's something Jesse Jackson made up, just in case you didn't know that. It's the term Jesse Jackson made up. But yeah, the reason that I'm reaching out to black folks is, and I talked to my wife about this before I did it. I wanted to walk through here, and I was going to count some stuff. Okay, I want you guys to pay close attention. That's Frederick Douglass, one. Somebody Dave gave me that one. I got that right there. Sam Jack, that's 3. Okay, here we come. Let's go over here. We got me and Allie, that's 4 and 5. Me and Ian. Oh, I guess that's the same, but yeah. Let's do that. 6 and 7. My mom, me, and my aunt. That's 7, 8, 9. Yeah, let's do that. 7 and 9. It's my great grandmother right there. Her name is Allie. So I believe, yeah.
Oh,
So let's look here. That's counters 9, 10. We're not going to count them all because that's a whole unit. Just count them as 11. Charlie Chisholm, 12. Let's see. Mugabe, 13, 14. Everybody knows this picture. 15, 16. That's Thurgood Marshall, 17. That was Old Dirty Bastard. 18, Sojourner Truth. 19. Wayne Black, General. Awesome guy. 20, Dred Scott, first Ferguson decision. Let's say that's 20. Let's count him as 21, even though he's very important. Anyway, yeah, really, really important. Look him up if you don't know him. I wonder though if again, I'm talking to black folks. I wonder if you do. So then we got this picture right here, the Arcane picture. That's where we got 21. Rosa Parks, 22. We got this picture by Gordon Parks. That's like 23. Yeah, I'm kidding. 24. All right, over here. That was Marcus Garvey, 25. Now, Marcus Garvey, I hope you know him. Elijah. All right, 26. Let's go over here now. Cool guy. Everybody, if you've been here, I don't know if you have, but been here. Yeah, these are two. He's a cool cat. Everybody seems to know this picture. I talked to a lot of folks about it. And then, right here is my man, Dick Gregory. Now, let's just say, oh yeah, hold on. Let me move over here. This guy right here, he's priceless. He was a depiction of someone black, but he's, they say he was worth about $750, but actually now he's priceless because he's a protector of Darren's Coffee, and me and the children actually painted him. So how was that? How many was that altogether? 26. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm gonna just count this as one. This is look at that. In Black America. This was a book. It actually was by presidential publishers. Let's see when it was written. Wow, man. Old book, man. In Black America. Yeah, it's copyrighted in 1970. It's got a history of everything that happened. Well, a lot, and of course not everything, but a lot that happened in that period of time, from up to 1970. So, but the real reason that I'm reaching out, I'm just lately in the news. A lot of black folks have been complaining, and this is 3 years ago. 4 years ago. Now let's talk about that word indictment. The term indictment would be to bring up charges against. To bring up charges against would be that someone has some sort of reason to accuse you of something. Now, I am going to indict black people. I'm accusing you of not backing up what you say you're going to do. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, we've been hearing a lot of Black Lives Matter, and that's true. Black Lives Matter. All lives don't matter, and if you come here, I'll tell you why all lives don't matter, or some people see as all lives not matter. There's more weight that people actually associate with life. I generally try to say that let's just look out for the ones that are hurting right now, and it's real easy to look out and say and blame somebody and say, you know what, man? Hey, this dude is hitting me. The cops are hitting me. Bam, bam, bam. Oh yeah, I forgot Kevin, man. Yeah, Kevin, he counts. He's running for state senate. But anyway, yeah, the cops are all against us, man. This, that, and the other. And I get it. Yeah, man, trust me, I get it. Where I move around, man, I have interactions with police all the time. But it's funny. That's even funnier. Let's go back and let's do some numbers. In the city of Indianapolis, there's actually 250,000, actually, number's 289,000 as of 2014 blacks in the city of Indianapolis. Actually, the west side, according to University of Wisconsin, they did a study on Milwaukee. Oddly enough, everybody knows about what's going on in Milwaukee, how much of a segregated city that is. They did a comparison against Indianapolis as being a highly integrated city. Right? That's fantastic. You don't think about that. You don't think about that. You see what's going on, but you want to latch on to everybody else's plight. And I'm not going to do that. Again, I'm bringing up charges against black folks. Now we got 289,000 black folks. I counted 28. I didn't count Lena Horne and my grandfather and great uncles, whatever. And all the books either. I didn't count those. Let's say 28. In the past 14 days, I can honestly say that I have not seen 28 black people come into this location and buy not one cup of coffee. Not buy a cup of coffee, not buy a bag of Ruffles, not bag of cookie, not buy a cup, not buy, give me 50 cents for a pack of salt. Yeah. Now, even though, just to come in and say, hey, I had people call and say, man, hey, I heard about you on WIBC. And something else is really significant about that to me. Oh, yeah, look at this, man. racial profiling. Bought these mugs from my little sister. And look at this. It even says Indie Next, Black Lives Matter, this, that, and the other. So, citizens accountability. Accountability. Also got the American flag. Because yeah, man. Even though I believe in what America stands for, and I know you guys do too. But accountability, and I'm holding y'all accountable, man. And the reason why I'm holding Black folks more accountable than anything else, and Lord knows, I hope you didn't turn me off yet, because yeah, Lord knows, hope you didn't turn me off yet. But a lot of people may understand, and if you're still watching, everybody else, cool, you part of the family too. We having what's called a family talk right now. A lot of people may or may not know, our first time that we actually sold coffee at a farmer's market was the Greenwood Farmers Market. We called around, and Greenwood Farmers Market was the first place that gave us love. Now, that, how significant that is at Greenwood. Oh, what Greenwood would be the one? Right? It's no secret that at times Greenwood was a difficult city, a difficult town. And also Greenwood was the first place that gave Darren's love to say, okay, you can come in and have a farmer's market. When I say difficult, that means not good for Black people. Now, good thing, what's cool about that, or what's so significant about that is we came and we didn't even have enough money to make change. But about an hour in, we had a line. We had a long line. And I remember Tiffany looking at me and I'm looking at her, and she said, baby, we can do this. We can do this. And I knew at that point, I was like, yeah, man, we can do it. We can make it happen. So at the farmer's market it ended at noon. We sold out of coffee. We had a nice little thing of money. And I said, Tim's like, let's go get some gas. I said, nope. No, man. She's like, what are you talking about? I said, no, man. We're a Black-owned business. I'm going to go spend the very first dollars that I made in my company with a Black-owned company. A Black-owned company. Remember, I counted 28 in here. And really, I could say, and I haven't seen 28 Black folks in here in a month. And that is an indictment. I mean, that is very much an indictment, and you should be ashamed. Yes, you should be ashamed. I bank Black. I make it a white-owned bank as well, but I have an account at a Black bank. I have a degree from an HBCU. I'm in a traditionally Black fraternity, which I'm making South Phi. Again, you guys see this. And furthermore, I mean, we do stuff all the time, man, here for Black people and Black folks, man. But for some reason, I don't know what it is about supporting another Black business is so difficult, man. I don't get it. And really, kind of what set it off is, one, I was doing the video, getting ready to post everything about showing hidden colors. And this would be the second time I showed it. First time, I had a couple of girls that went to Zionsville High School that showed up and watched the movie. And zero Black people showed up. Zilch. And I could run down a list of things that you probably would have picked up in there, a movie that you never would have heard anywhere else. You didn't come. And I'm still not gonna give up on y'all, man. And damn Black people. I am gonna tell you about yourself. Damn Black people. Why y'all making me mad? An article that was written in Reporter. Actually, Amos Brown wrote it. God rest his soul. Amos Brown wrote it. And he talked about how Black retailers were at an all-time low. There were much more retailers Hold on a second. I'm sitting here talking. Y'all can't hear nothing I'm saying. So back in the other corner where I was kind of trying to zoom in, there was there's a picture of the Star Trek episode where there's one guy who's got a white face and half his face is white, and the other half is black. Other guys, half his face is black, the other's white, and these guys are at war. Now, if you look at the in the upper, what's up, Handler? If you look up, if you look up in that one picture that's right above where it says "Make Coffee, Not War," that is a picture of an auction block in South Carolina. So it is no doubt that when you came into, and I no longer have a coffee shop, so yeah, man. And I never would have a liquor license. I did have a liquor license at one point in time at one of my shops, but I didn't like having a liquor license. That's because my place is family friendly, and my children were 5 and 8, and I was saying if my children can't come in here at any time of the day, then you know what? This probably shouldn't be a place I should be. So that's why I didn't have a liquor license. I didn't push it either. Everybody was like, "Man, you should sell liquor." I'm like, "Nah, man, you sell coffee and tea."
Bringing up race right now is that so many people are talking about our presidential candidates and how racist they are. And I'm wondering, okay, well, these people are racist. Now, let's talk about why they're racist. Now, I know for a fact that black folks drink coffee. I would hope so, because you know where coffee comes from? It comes from Africa. I know for a fact that black people eat potato chips. I know for a fact black people eat muffins. I know for a fact they drink Pepsi. I know for a fact they come and sit down. I know for a fact that they drink ices. I know for a fact that they like to talk. I know for a fact they like to use the internet. I know for a fact they like to print for free. I know for a fact they like to fax. I know for a fact. Now these are all facts. Yet still, where you at? Don't see it. Oh, check this out. Look at this, man. I just saw this, man. Now, this is Rediscovering Black Conservatism. This is a fantastic book. Given to him by a friend of mine. Looking at the Heartland Institute is what commissioned it. Who commissioned the book. Indianapolis is known as a place, man. It's home of. Okay, battery went dead.
All right,
anyway, I'm not going to keep.
Let me turn it on, man.
I do know several.
Yeah, so there you go, man. So I'm intense, man. I was getting real upset with y'all, man. But yeah, man. The whole I don't have a coffee shop anymore. I don't have coffee shops anymore, and that's cool. My thing is this, man. If Starbucks is not gonna, like what Mo Justice was saying, man. If Starbucks ain't gonna let you wear the Black Lives Matter up there, man, then damn it, start your own fucking coffee shop. Don't give them people your money. No. Do not spend your money with them. That was in Indianapolis. Do not spend no money with them, man. Don't do it. Damn it, you can make a coffee at the crib. Actually, on my website, man, I have recipes on how to make these different kind of drinks, man. And you know what? I'll start putting more of them on there. I'll start getting active on Blerdplanet.com again and writing more content that's coffee focused. So just in case Black folks during this time when you guys decide, maybe not, I don't know, to not support Starbucks. Because I'm saying don't support Starbucks. See, that's why I got
Starbucks.
See, I got the siren, or covered up. Like,
hey, put me back up there next to the siren. I'm a better looking siren than her anyway.
You were the siren.
Put us next to each other. You see that? You see those curves versus my curves? Come on, man. Fuck Starbucks. We got the better siren.
I drink lots of water mixed with lemon and honey every day and night. That's good. That's good. But you know what? Sister Sunset is I actually had lemon and hot water. Plenty of hot water. Plenty of honey, because I know I literally would carry certain types of condiments because I knew only Black people would have condiments, would really like honey in their coffee.
Yeah.
I did stuff like that. I mean, just like that to cater. So it's like, I love my
You
white
had
folks.
me at the fax in the printer.
Yeah.
You had me at the fax in the printer. I was like, damn, who
Yeah.
does that? I've never seen that in a coffee shop before.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But like I'm saying, man, if you want to buy coffee from me, that's cool. I'm not gonna try to twist your arm and make you buy coffee from me. What I'm telling you is support black businesses. Don't buy Starbucks coffee.
Indefinitely. Just don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it, man. Because obviously they don't give a fuck. That's all I got to say about that. You got anything else up the unicorn?
Nah, I mean, I guess my only thing is like Kevin Hart made a comment that made me want the link, and he was just like, this is just a poor management decision. It's not about boycotting Starbucks. It's about poor management. And I'm just like, but this happens at Starbucks all over the place. All over the place. Black people, it's anti-black, like it's systemic. For whatever reason, the people in management and the shift managers and all these different people getting promotions, they are anti-black. There is a reason you walked into a room full of people and everybody was represented, all these women groups and LGBTQ groups, and then it was just like, oh, well, where's the black group? And you heard crickets. Like, it is systemic. It is a group. It is a type of people who get promoted at Starbucks. Like, these baristas are actually assholes, and baristas are supposed to be really warm and welcoming and bubbly, Like, they're supposed to help you get your morning off right. And like, it just, there's a culture at Starbucks that is anti-black.
Yeah.
And you only see black employees there when they've been firing people, there's new management, old baristas quit, and then they hire up a bunch of Negroes. And then once, they get established and they can hire the people they want, they find a reason to be like, hey, your attendance, you're late,
Oh, check this
to
out.
get rid of you.
Check this out. See this? This was actually a picture of Beyond Bay 29th Lessons from Starbucks Anti-Bias Training and What's Next, right? What do you see missing?
Niggas, excuse me, there are no black people there. I got fired from Starbucks just before this went down.
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, there's another one. Let's see. Yeah. And y'all, on that note, I gotta go. It's been real. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have a good one, man. Peace.